I was 2 sips into my morning coffee when the knock came. Firm, deliberate, not careless, but demanding. "Jason Hale, you're under arrest for wire fraud and identity theft." For a second, I froze. Shock, then denial. Before I could utter a word, I was in handcuffs, standing on my front porch in pajamas. Neighbors peered out from behind curtains and cracked doors. The charges weren't just false. They were terrifyingly specific. According to the detective, I'd embezzled over $240,000 from the law firm where I worked. They had security footage, digital access logs, and bank transfers, all pointing to me. But I didn't do it. Only one person knew my life, my passwords, my habits well enough to pull something like this. Vanessa, my sister. She'd always been the golden child. Ivy League graduate, finance job in Chicago, praised by everyone from our parents to strangers. Me? I stayed local. When Dad passed, I took care of Mom. I was the quiet one. 6 months before the arrest, we'd had a massive argument. She wanted a temporary $10,000 loan. I refused. I knew she was buried in gambling debt. She told me I'd regret it. I didn't know how far she'd go. At the station, I kept repeating the truth. I was being framed. No one listened. The detective slammed a folder on the table. Inside were screenshots of transfers from my work computer, emails from my account, even video footage of someone who looked just like me, sneaking into the finance director's office. But I saw through it. Vanessa had used an old ID photo, back when I had long hair and glasses. She'd likely manipulated the footage. That badge. I hadn't used it in years. My public defender barely made eye contact. Minimum sentence, 12 years. Meanwhile, I was suspended. My accounts frozen. My landlord posted an eviction notice. My life crumbled in under 72 hours. I crashed on my buddy Kevin's couch, humiliated, furious. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking of Vanessa's words. "You're just a placeholder, Jason. The world chooses people like me." Fine. Let's see who the world chooses after the mask comes off. Kevin owed me. He was a cybersecurity analyst. In one day, he traced a login from my firm's VPN to an IP address in Chicago, Lincoln Park, Vanessa's building. Digging deeper, he found a transfer from a Starbucks Wi-Fi near her apartment. Security footage showed a woman matching her profile. Still not enough. I needed a confession, not just an admission. I wanted her voice, her face, her words. I called her. She answered like everything was normal. "Jason, how's Texas?" "Great, especially the night I spent in jail." Pause, then a sharp, smug laugh. "You've always been dramatic." "This your play, Vanessa?" "You were in my way, not anymore." Click. I set the trap. Kevin and I built a fake company, Vestra Equity Holdings, and posted a job opening, Director of Crypto Strategy. We made it look real. Website, staff bios, investor deck. We messaged her through LinkedIn. She applied in 48 hours. Kevin embedded a tracker in the resume. Same IP, same device, fingerprint. We scheduled a video interview. I used a voice changer and blurred my background. Halfway through, I asked, "How did you handle previous data breaches?" She smirked. "Well, when you understand how people think, their passwords, when they check emails, you can rewrite anything, even the story." Then she laughed. "We recorded everything. I emailed my firm's managing partner from a burner account. 30-second clip, full resume, timestamps, IP logs, Hale logins, transfer patterns, internal access paths. 12 hours later, he called, apologized, repeatedly. Vanessa, fired, no severance, blacklisted, still not enough. I posted her full confession to a private forum for finance executives. It spread like wildfire. She called me days later. "You vindictive bastard. You ruined me." "No, Vanessa, you did that. I just revealed it." She cried, begged me to take it down. I didn't. I was reinstated, promoted. But I wasn't the same. I saw how fragile truth can be, how fast lies travel, and how justice doesn't just happen. You build it. I moved on, but I never forgot. Because some betrayals don't just wound you, they sharpen you. And from the ashes Vanessa lit around me, I built something stronger. Myself. 3 weeks after Vanessa was fired, I got an email from a journalist. She'd caught wind of the forum post. She wanted an anonymous source to walk her through what had happened, both the crime and the trap I'd set. At first I refused, but then I thought, maybe it's time someone knew what people like Vanessa were capable of. We met in a quiet cafe. I told her everything. She promised confidentiality. 2 weeks later, her piece went viral. Vanessa's name was never mentioned, but the details, everyone in her industry knew. This story lit up Twitter, subreddits, LinkedIn comment threads. She went from being quietly blacklisted to openly discussed. Her old firm put out a vague statement. No names, no responsibility, just a sterile assurance that measures had been taken. I didn't care. I was already working freelance, taking on cybersecurity cases now. Kevin and I were building a consulting business, one client at a time. We were helping other people who'd been screwed by family, friends, corporations. It wasn't revenge anymore. It was a mission. Because if someone like Vanessa could do what she did to me, she wasn't the only one. And if I could stop even one more betrayal like that, then maybe the ashes weren't wasted after all. Months passed. Our consulting firm grew, and with it, so did our reach. One day we got a request, quiet and desperate, from an employee at a medical device company. He was being accused of leaking trade secrets. The parallels to my own experience were haunting. Kevin and I dove in, and what we found, another betrayal, a sibling, another golden child who couldn't bear to see the quiet brother succeed. We exposed it, safely, strategically, our reputation cemented. We started a podcast, Unmasked, Real Betrayals, Real Recoveries. People wrote in, emails, voicemails, anonymous tips, story after story, families torn apart, friends double-crossed, bosses sabotaging employees. It became clear my story wasn't rare. It was the beginning of something much bigger. And Vanessa, last I heard, she changed her name, works in retail, still tells people she was the victim, but I sleep well. Because justice doesn't end when the verdict comes in. It begins when the truth has a voice. Mine just happened to be louder than hers. Brother exposed his sibling who framed him, caught in a web of betrayal. The court process lasted for months. Vincent pled guilty. The judge said, "This is one of the most complex chains of cybercrime ever committed within a family." Vincent was sentenced to 12 years in prison. I went back to work, but nothing was the same. Cracks formed in my family. My father remained estranged. My mother didn't call for 2 years. She only sent one card. "I believed in you. I always did." I founded a consulting firm called Trace. Together with Jason, we now support victims of digital crimes. Our first client was a high school teacher tricked by someone using a scheme just like Vincent's. Through tears, she said, "Finally, someone understands." And I did. Every word, every pain. This story isn't over, because Vincent still sends letters from prison. In one of them, he wrote, "You disappointed me, brother. Families don't act like this." And I gave him my answer. Family doesn't betray each other. If you're reading this, protect what's yours, your voice, your identity, your truth. Because sometimes betrayal doesn't come from the outside, it comes from the closest person. But never forget, the truth cannot be silenced. Now I ask you, what would you do? Would you forgive a sibling who ruined your life? Or would you fight to uncover the truth? Write your thoughts in the comments. If you have experienced such betrayal, tell your own story. Maybe someone else can find strength in your words.